All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to sunny Northern California here in San Jose at Patrick Wayne Memorial Stadium for WCAL action. We have. Can't hear me.
I hear like this audience
Sorry about that.
such a huge delay. Sorry.
Just getting some technical difficulties sorted away. But to reiterate, welcome to sunny Northern California here in San Jose at Patrick Wayne Memorial Stadium at Bellarmine College Preparatory. Today we have a WCL showdown between your Bellarmine Bells, the Archbishop Riordan Crusaders. I'm Akshay Drivadula, alongside me is junior Samarth Girish. And you know, if you think about heavyweight matchups in the WCAL, right, you have Bellarmine against Midi, Bellarmine against St. Francis, always great rivalry-wise. But this is a huge one. Riordan, 18-2, 9-1 in the league, first in the WCAL. Bellarmine is third in the WCAL with a 7-3 league record, 17-3 overall. So, you know, these are two really talented teams. The Bells were coming off an incredible high streak back when they first matched up against Riordan. Ended up losing by 8, one of their worst losses of the season, which tells you all about their season. You know, Samarth, when you look at Riordan's roster, they have two phenomenal senior point guards.
Oh yeah, Riordan's got a great team, and they're a very physical team. They're not shy to use their skill and muscle their way through the paint, and I think that'll be one of the keys of the game, controlling the paint. I was talking to Bellarmine center Ryan Kioshin earlier today, and he said the keys and the important things that they're going to focus on is trying to out-muscle them and really try to get Riordan to down their physicality, and that starts from winning the board, because Riordan's got great players. They've got a height advantage over these already tall Bellarmine players, and if Bellarmine is able to control the boards, that should serve pretty well for them. But Riordan's going to make it very difficult for them to do it.
Yeah, Bryce Monroe, number 1, senior guard, is committed to Sam Houston State, considered by a few publications to be the best player in San Francisco. Jelani Clark took back in November an official visit to Nevada, so they have some pretty elite players right up there. Also, a player of note, 7'1" sophomore Morsek. So, certainly a talented team. Your Bells, you know the roster. We'll go over it a little bit. We have Captain Quinn Denker, Captain Ridley Ruth, Captain Ian Elam, Ryan Kioshin, the stellar junior, and a bunch of other players who fill in as necessary. We'll see exactly who is coming on the team and who will be the starters shortly after the national anthem. Stay tuned. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCP Sports Live. All right, as the starters for both teams are about to be announced, we'll be giving those to you as they go along. Just want to touch about what Samarth was talking about. Bellarmine is a pretty large team. Calling out the starters, number 0, Jelani Clark, will be starting to guard for Riordan. Bryce Monroe, as we mentioned earlier, the 2 stellar guards starting. Lee Hubbard, Jr., also a guard. He's 6'1", he'll be starting. Dominic Wilson, 6'4", senior, will be starting at forward. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, number 23, Morsek, very tall, talented sophomore, not unlike Ryan Kioshin last year, will be starting at center. Now for your Bellarmine Bells, just looking at the bench right now,
Anthony Pirro getting the start for the Bells at point guard. And the captain, Quinn Danker, coming in. And that's a dynamic duo right there, Quinn Danker and Anthony Pirro. Josh Wolf-Bloom, a very proven junior. He got called up from the sophomore team last year during the CCS playoffs.
Ian Elam, the third, as I get back on the broadcast here. Another captain, 6'6" senior. And Ryan Kioshin, the stellar junior, one of the key focal points of this Bellarmine team. But going up, rarely we see him go up against a player as tall, if not taller than him. And it will be important to see how he handles his composure against his talent. Against Mitty ran out a center of comparable height, and Kioshin managed to beat him, drive him, and make him unplayable. So we know he can play against size. But for this Bellarmine team, as we mentioned, it all starts with stopping these guards. You can't let them beat you. You know, Anthony Pirro and Quinn Danker have to be up to task on defense. It's going to take a full 32 minutes. Still thinking the NBA clock. So we're about to get it started. Up for the tip, Morsek and Ryan Kioshin. And we're just about set to get underway here at Patrick Wayne Memorial Stadium. Morsek wins the tip over to Bryce Monroe. He'll bring it up. He's guarded by Anthony Pirro. He'll pass it over to Hubbard here on the near wing. Hubbard will dribble it up, scanning the field, back over to Monroe. Monroe at the far wing gets a screen by Clark. Pass it over to Sek. Sek to Hubbard. And Hubbard will hold and dribble. Probing, back to Monroe. Monroe, a little pump fake, takes the shot. And
looks like he traveled.
Now missed the shot anyway, but they're calling a 3-second violation on Riordan. Bellarmine with the ball. Pirro will bring it up the court. Over to Kioshin, far wing. He'll pass it over to Elam. Elam over to Pirro now near wing. Pirro guarded by Monroe. Here's Danker, he's guarded by Hubbard. He passes it over to Elam, and that is swatted out of here.
Well, that's what Morsek can do. He is so tall. He's able to get up there, and it's going to be very difficult for Bellarmine, who generally like playing in the paint. It's going to be difficult for them to go against this 7'1" player.
Wolf-Bloom had passed it to Pirro. Pirro over to Elam, now over to Wolf-Bloom. Danker at the near corner gets a screen from Wolf-Bloom, probing, passes it in to Wolf-Bloom, now to Elam. Elam pump fake, drive in, and it gets blocked again by Morsek. That looked like it might have been goaltending, but it's okay. Jelani Clark, the way in, misses it. Morsek dunks it down.
It's the height advantage is coming in. If Bellarmine really wants to create space, they need to go off a lot of pick and rolls in the perimeter and create space in the inside.
Danker brings it out. That was a fantastic putback by Morsek. He'll pass it over to Wolf-Bloom, now to Pirro, guarded by Monroe. Monroe screened by Kioshin, but Pirro passes it over to Danker. Danker will look. Far wing, gets a screen from Elam, tries to step back, pass into Elam. Elam in again. Tough finish up against Morsek.
He gets a high angle and able to beat Morsek.
Fantastic take by Ian Elam. And good for him, especially as Hubbard tries to drive in and passes it over to Wilson, who passed it over to Clark. He passes to Morsek, who airballed that floater.
Good defense from Ryan Kioshin on that one on Morsek. It's going to be a big test for Ryan
Denker
Kioshin.
for three, hits it.
That gets his place on its feet.
That's great to see from Quinn Denker, who can run streaky at times, but when he's on, he's one of the best in the WCAL. They'll need their best against this talented guard duo. Hubbard now with the ball. He's guarded by Denker. He passes it over to Monroe, who's guarded by Wolf Bloom. Monroe tries to, and they're going to call a foul there on Wolf Bloom. Monroe slipped a little. Wolf Bloom, wrong place, wrong time. First foul on Bellarmine, up 5-2. With 5:33 left to go in this first quarter.
That was a good play in the previous progression there by Quinn Denker. They're able to get space off of Ryan Kioshin's screen, and he's able to put up a three. That's what they need to work on. They need to be sharp shooting because, again, it's going to be very difficult for them to control the paint.
Hubbard has the ball now. He gets a screen from Wilson. Passing it to Morsek, and Kioshin sends it back off on Morsek. That's what we're talking about when you're taking the challenge against a player somehow taller than you.
This is the battle we're going to see. Morsek versus Ryan Kioshin.
Denker passes it out to Pirro. Elam working now on Wilson. Spins in. Kisses it off the glass for two. 7-2. Bellarmine up on top. Just under 5 to go in this first quarter. As it looks like Hubbard will be the guy playing point guard for this Riordan team in their 3-guard set. He's guarded by Denker. Monroe has the ball now, guarded by Pirro, screened by Morsek. Kioshin comes up on him, drives in, passes it to Clark. Clark hops into no one, and loses the ball.
Good defense from Bellarmine there. They're really putting men on the ball, and it's every time 2 men to the ball, and yet Riordan is not able to find guys open because of the quickness of the Bellarmine defense.
Pirro now will bring it up top. Bellarmine has played great defense so far, really contesting, forcing a lot of silly mistakes as Pirro will pass it to Denker. Open, 3, off back iron, and Hubbard will take it and push. Whoa, more sec against Pirro, but Monroe will take the 3, misses it. Wolf Bloom with the rebound, guarded by Wilson, but will get it to Denker. Denker over to Pirro. Pirro now in the corner, now over to Denker. Denker tries to drive in, and they're going to call a travel. Drag the pivot foot before he dribbled down. That's something you see all too often in basketball.
Looked like the pass from Anthony Pirro was a little behind him, forcing Quinn Denker to drag that pivot foot, as you just said.
Bryce Monroe will bring the ball up now. Just around 4 minutes to go in this game. Bellarmine up 5, 7-2. There's a switch. Denker's up against Monroe. Monroe drives in. And they're going to call a foul on Denker. Kioshin gets a clean block, but Denker pushed him in the back. We're looking for the official word. Looks like a push in the back, so Monroe will go to the line to shoot 2. Just under 4 to go in this game.
Though that was a foul, Kioshin has really shown that he can hold his own in this one because he got the block on that play, and now it looks like they're going to take more sec out, which Bellarmine should really capitalize on this. But again, Riordan still got a lot of talent in number 10.
Monroe misses the second. Wolf Bloom with the rebound. Gets to Denker checking into the game. Number 10, Chan Gott. He will be slotting in at center against Kioshin. Kioshin gets the ball now. Far wing, looking. Pass it over to Wolf Bloom. Wolf Bloom also surveilling. He'll give it over to Pirro. Pirro will initiate. Bellarmine had a high-low post, which is weird, and they're going to call a push in the back on Wolf Bloom. Missed pull-up by Pirro. Not a great shot.
Yeah, the shot selection could have been better there by Pirro. It was a side jumper, a very low percentage shot.
Wolf Bloom checks out of the game, and checking in, number 24, Kyle Lewis. Now, the first year Kyle Lewis came up on varsity, he and I are in the same year. It was at the DJ Franson Memorial Tournament, and for the life of me, I don't know why, I kept on saying Kyle Williams for the first half of the game. As Hubbard passes it over to Monroe, who will get a screen. He gets pressed up front, but now they'll give it to Wilson. Good contest by Elam. He drains it. You know, it got to the point where my friends who were listening to the broadcast had to tell me, you're saying it wrong, you're saying it wrong, you're saying it wrong.
You still got PTSD of the Niners player Kyle Williams, probably, number 10.
Perhaps. Kioshin will get it down in the low post. Spins. They're going to call a travel. No, foul. Looked like he dragged the pivot foot there, but foul on Chan Knott, and that will be the first foul on Riordan. Denker will take it down. I just say this now because this will be my last broadcast for basketball. As Kyle Lewis gets it, blocked by Jelani Clark, grabs the ball and he'll push. Drives in, goes all the way into the defense. Tough angle layup, but he knocks it down. Elam passes it over to Denker. Bellarmine will try to run back in a hurry. Now Denker will settle down. You know, there have been a lot of cool little stories I've been able to see for doing this, as Elam will look at the ball and pass it down to the low post. Denker going up against Hubbard. Now to Kioshin. Elbow jumper.
What a great shot from Ryan Kioshin. It's a low percentage shot, but he's able to sink in. Those are the opportunities you got to take advantage of against this very talented Riordan team.
Hubbard over to Clark. Clark guarded by Lewis. He'll take it himself. Goes away from the screen, pass it over to Monroe. Monroe will drive in, pass over to Wilson. Wilson traveled.
It looked like he might have shuffled his feet there in the top of the key.
Exactly, shuffled his feet, checking into the game. Rini, 6'9" senior.
Yeah, Riordan's got a lot of talent at the guard position as well as the center position. They got a lot of tall players and a lot of quick players, and that's a recipe for success most of the time.
Denker gets double teamed, but they'll pass it to Kioshin. Kioshin thought about the three, didn't take it. Instead, set a screen for number 22, Cole Despy, who checked into the game. Elam now has the ball up top. He'll drive in, pass over to Kioshin. Kioshin open three, hit three.
And Kioshin is so far, in my opinion, the MVP for the Bells. He is playing at all positions right now.
12-7, Bellarmine lead, 1:30-ish left to go in this game. Monroe has the ball. He'll settle it down. Back to Clark, back to Monroe. The talented duo taking to work, splits the double team, drives in, tough layup. Wow.
And that's
terrific take.
That's the physicality of Riordan there. He goes up, able to readjust in midair, and puts up a great shot.
Elam over to Denker. Denker, some space, knocks it down. Second made three for Quinn Denker, and with 1 minute to go, Bellarmine is up 15-9. Monroe now has the ball, takes the screen, he gets doubled again up top. Kioshin runs back. Now Monroe against Denker, passes it over to number 13, Sean Quantico.
Looks like Kioshin was caught on the reach and foul.
Kioshin called on a push in the post against Chan Knott. So, with 50 seconds to go, Elam is in, got smacked hard as he tried to go up. He'll get fouled and will go to the line to shoot two. Sorry about that delay, some few technical difficulties. It's never easy doing these broadcasts. 15.6 left to go in this first quarter. Bellarmine up 6, 15-9. Quinn Denker to the line, shoot two.
Denker off the front iron for the first shot. And it looks like it's Morsack coming in, checking in to get the rebound. He'll be working against Cole Despy in the paint.
Denker hits the second, as I'm sure Samarth astutely pointed out. Josiah Ajake checks into the game for Bellarmine. So here's Monroe. He'll bring the ball up with just around 10 seconds to go. Working against Kyle Lewis. Surveying now 5 seconds. Drives in, splits it. And he missed it. Mosek misses the follow. And 16-9 is your score heading into the second quarter. We'll be back right in a bit. Stay tuned. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCP Sports Live here on YouTube. All right, everyone, welcome back. 16-10 is your score heading into the second quarter. Bellarmine 16-9. Bellarmine is up by 7. In the game right now for the Bells, we have Piero, Kioshin, Elam, Ruth, and Ajike. Over for Riordan. Hubbard, Monroe, Sec. Looks like Quantico as Piero will drive in. Floater. He was fouled on it. That took a lot of air. Really soared up there.
I think the contact there forced the ball to change its trajectory and really had some sky time.
You know, sometimes when a shot looks unnatural, it's probably because there was a foul. Piero to the line to shoot two. So as we were saying, Monroe, Quantico, Hubbard, Sec, and Rini. As Quantico checks out and checking back in is Wilson.
So Bellarmine's playing Ryan Kioshin back and Josiah Ajike up front, and I think it's to prevent a quick counterattack from Archbishop Riordan.
Yeah, probably, you know, every possession matters, and with most Sec patrolling the middle, there are not a lot of rebounds to be had. As Sec tried to get post-up position. Instead, Hubbard will pass it to Wilson. Now Sec calling it on the low post. Hubbard will drive in against Ruth. Slight floater, good. Ajike will pass it into Piero. Hubbard with a clean move. You know, you mentioned it earlier, but the physicality Riordan is showing on these drives to the paint is astounding. And it's part of the reason why they're able to score. As Hubbard gets close up against Ruth, pass almost to no one, but Piero will collect it. Instead, Elam will drive in, looks, lost it. Sec will pass it over to Hubbard, and he will bring it up court for Archbishop Riordan, trailing by 6 with just under 7 to go. Monroe over to Hubbard. Hubbard drives in, looks. Big gather, but he gets the foul. He will shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, so Riordan has shown that they're going to really commit to working the paint. Haven't really taken many shots from the perimeter and even inside the line, outside the paint, as they're really going to be testing, as you said, Bellarmine's physicality. So, but Bellarmine, on the other hand, every time they've tried to get in the paint, they just haven't had too much success. So they got this lead mainly from outside shooting, and they've done that very well, and they need to continue doing that. And they got space for the outside shots through screens and ghost movements by their guards.
Hubbard 1 for 2 from the line. Makes it a 5-point game. Bellarmine up, 6:42 to go in this game. Now Denker guarded by Hubbard. He'll pass it over to Elam. He'll hold it. Now back over to Denker. Denker looks around, pass it over to Kioshin. Fakes it, spin, moves around, misses it. And they're going to call that out on Quinn Denker. Toe on the line. Bet you he wishes he was a shoe size smaller right there.
He does, yeah. He was just off, out of bounds, and it's going to be Riordan with the ball.
Bryce Monroe guarded by Cole Despy. Ian Elam back to help. Wilson now has the ball over to Clark. Clark will take it. Gets a switch against Elam. Takes the 3, misses it. Most Sec skies for the rebound. Puts it back in. Tough rebound by a tall player. Great effort there. Beats Kioshin for the board. Denker now with the ball. He'll bring it up. Pass it over to Despy. Gets a screen from Kioshin. Illegal screen on Ryan Kioshin. 17-14, your score right now. Bellarmine up by 3 with 5:46 to go in this game. Checking into the game, number 33, Zach Turner.
Zach Turner got a lot of minutes early in the season. He hasn't seen as many minutes as before as the season progressed, and I think it'll be good for him to get these minutes because he's really proven that he can play physical ball just to counter what Riordan's doing right now.
Timeout is taken right now, so 30-second timeout. We'll stay with you through it. And you know, Zach Turner playing is a sign of a situation that no one wanted to see happen. Unfortunately, has deprived Constantine Cole, one of the true great players on this team, a defensive stalwart if I've ever seen one. It's cost him most of his season. He is suited up. Whether or not he plays remains to be seen, but Cole is going to be a foundation for this team going forward, and it's just unfortunate to see injuries happen to a promising young player like that. His senior year, too, that's always tough. But, of course, basketball is an unforgiving master like that. Yeah. Sometimes injuries just tend to happen. Nothing you can do with it. As Hubbard brings the ball up, guarded by Denker, he'll survey. Looks around, passes it over to Clark. Illegal screen on Wilson.
Yes. So the refs have been calling a lot of illegal screens this game, and it's really, in an offensive perspective, this game we've hit a snag because of offensive fouls called by the refs. We'll see how they continue to call this game as it progresses.
Quinn Denker has the ball now. He's driving against Hubbard. Looks around. Good pass to Despy. Misses the follow. Fights for the board. Kyle Lewis drives in. Misses the follow. And now Hubbard will basically, it was like a 4-on-1 essentially, but Bellarmine does a good job in their scramble defense. Forces Riordan to bring it back. Now Monroe will drive in and one. Gets the contact. Foul on number 22, Cole Despy. He'll go to the line to shoot one more.
Yeah,
no.
A missed opportunity by the Bells on their previous possession. It's they had about 3 chances to put the ball in, and they did a good job recovering on defense. As you said in the scramble, as they had to scramble back to get in formation.
Monroe misses it. Mosek gets the board. Mosek is fouled. Unacceptable by the Bells. He split a double team back on the glass, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 now. But going back to Bryce Monroe, one thing we've seen out of him is his ability to split the double team. It's been beautiful to see almost, because it's like the only way you think Bellarmine can stop him is by double teaming him, by forcing the ball out of his hands. But he's so quick and so good with the ball, just drives right through, getting to the cup early and often. Sek hits back iron and a little to the right on that free throw. He'll come back for one more. 5 minutes to go.
Coach Curtin there coaching Sek on the technicalities of the free throw, as it's difficult for a big man usually to shoot, and he's able to nail this one.
Coaching paid off there.
Exactly.
Kyle Lewis will get the ball now. Exactly 5 minutes to go. Jelani Clark is guarding him. Bellarmine is tied with Riordan, 17-17. Here's Denker. Double screen. Looks around. Past the Wolf Bloom. He'll take a corner 3. Misses it. No out of bounds call. Instead, Wolf Bloom misses a... Oh my goodness. Scramble for the ball, and they're going to call a travel on Ian Elam. Fell to the ground with the ball. Bellarmine missed 4 shots there.
Zach Turner really could have put it in from the corner 3, and he had a couple opportunities, couldn't go, and then in the paint also, just they're not able to convert, and that could really come back to bite them. This is the second possession where they've had multiple opportunities to get it in through the paint.
Can't fault them for trying, though. Lots of effort shown as Hubbard will bring the ball up. He's up near the near wing. Now he moves up passes over to Monroe. Monroe will drive in. Wild layup, puts it through. Sometimes, talent wins out. So Elam will pass it over to Piero. Bellarmine down in this game, 19-17. Elam will get the ball. He'll pass it over to Denker. Bellarmine spreading out.
Oh, what a layup.
Hits the layup. Gets the foul.
What a play. And that was against the big man, Morsek.
No, they called it on Dominic Wilson, but he did manage to get it over Morsek.
Yeah, that was great job adjusting in the air, moving his arms, and rotating the ball enough to get it by the big defender.
Josiah Adjike checks into the game. Denker misses the free throw. Scruffle for the ball, but...
So free throws have not been great for Bellarmine. On every time they've gotten to the line, they've missed at least once. I don't think they've hit 2 for 2 so far this game.
Free throws have been an issue for everyone this game as Hubbard brings the ball. And that reminds me, my sophomore year, calling the DJ Franzen tournament as terrific block by Joff Wolf Bloom. comes back. Fantastic effort. Not Joshua Bloom. Zach Turner. Despy will be called for the travel. Fantastic block coming from the backside there. Thank you, Samarth, for the correction. Going back to that story, a former broadcaster here, former director of sports broadcasting, Lucas Owens, and I were calling a game between Granite Bay and Menlo Atherton. And all I remember is at the end of the game, no one could hit a free throw. And it was so bad, he and I were audibly complaining about it as Hubbard has the ball. What I remember is the gym being so empty, the coaches could hear us complaining. The parents could hear us complaining. Monroe up against Despy, pulls the ball out, pass over to Clark. And you could just see so many eyes staring at us.
It must have been an awkward situation. You never want to be in that.
Wild shot by Clark. But they're going to call a foul on Mo Sek for the rebound. Bad shot there. Looked like he had a plan when he went into the paint, left it without one.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard being a big man because a lot of fouls that are done against you will not be called because of your size, and every little thing you do will be watched.
Now, it's just so interesting here. You're not really isolated from the crowd as Wolf Bloom passes it over to Piro, back over to Denker. Denker looks, pulls, three, back iron. Will Hubbard gets the board. He will push starters into game for Riordan. Clark now with the ball. Deep three. Made three. Great shot by Jelani Clark.
So again, in the beginning, Bellarmine was so good at the deep shots, and because they're able to create space. They're still able to create space, but they're not able to hit the shots that they have been hitting, which gave them the lead, and now they find themselves down by 3 because Riordan's been hitting the perimeter hit shots.
Piro off cross court to Wolf Bloom. Heel driving against Mo Sek. Looking. Bad pass. Great job by the big man there. Forces Wolf Bloom to make an errant pass. And Riordan ball up 3 with 2:19 left to go in this quarter, in this half. Mo Sek checks out of the game.
Zach Turner checks in for the Bells.
Checking in for Riordan, Chan Knott. Here's Monroe, drives in, guarded by Piro. You can see Zach Turner shading to help. Pass over to Wilson. Good defense by Despy to make him lose the ball, but he recovers it, passes back over to Hubbard. Hubbard over to Monroe. Monroe will probably take it now. Pull up 3. Misses it. Zach Turner, strong board. Pass over to Denker. Josiah Ajike fell down, but he's coming back up, and the Bells will look to push. Pass over to Piro by Denker. Piro will now drive in now over to Ajike, over to Despy. Despy takes the 3, hits it.
And there you go. Those are the shots they need to make, and they are. And we got ourselves this high ball game. Great job by Cole Despy on that one.
Hubbard will pass it over to Monroe. Monroe drives in. Wild shot. And they're going to call the foul on Zach Turner.
I don't know why. I didn't see a foul there. The fans here are not happy with that call.
Tough call there, calling Turner on a loose ball foul, trying to get the rebound. Looked like 2 guys were fighting. Officials decided to get involved. When plays like that happen, one side is always going to be angry. 1-1. Chan Knott hits the first one. Bellarmine has committed 9 fouls. Remember, at 10 fouls, Riordan will enter the double bonus where they get 2 free throws regardless of the type of foul. Chan badly misses the second one. Doesn't matter. They're going to call a violation, lane violation on Riordan.
So for Riordan, it looks like Toyo Kano is checking in, number 21. And Riordan's going 3 big on this one.
Well, up against the Bellarmine lineup that doesn't use their trademark size, as Denker will pass it over to Piro, who had a off-ball screen by Turner. So now Denker working against Hubbard, looking, driving, keep on looking, pass over to Despy. Nice little fake there, readjust, and with less than a minute to go, Bellarmine is up 1, 24-23, as Hubbard will bring the ball up for Riordan. Hubbard gets a screen from Chan. He will pass it over to Monroe in the near corner. Monroe back over to Hubbard. And as he turns around, Riordan probing. Pass it back over to Monroe, guarded by Piero. Pushes in, fade away, way short. And Quinn Danker will likely hold for the final shot of this half with Bellarmine up 1. Monroe tried to go for the steal. Now pass over to Ajike. He will hold it. Instead now Piero will pass it over to Danker with 13 to go. Here's Hubbard playing tight defense. Danker up top. Screen by Ajike. Illegal screen call. And Josiah Ajike think it was a moving one. Used the elbow. Bells turn it over with 7.1 left to go in this quarter.
I think we haven't been counting, but I think there have been more offensive fouls than defensive fouls in this one, and that's very unusual for basketball. And the refs, they are getting quite involved in the game. And both coaches and both teams probably don't like to see that because it really disrupts the flow.
Go to Hubbard. Hubbard, 3, 2, 1. Wild shot doesn't hit. And with that, the first half has ended. Your Bellarmine Bells up 24-23. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. This is BCP Sports Live broadcasting Bellarmine basketball here on YouTube. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Third quarter about to start here at Patrick Wayne Memorial Stadium. Your Bellarmine Bells lead by 1 against Archbishop Riordan as Lee Hubbard brings the ball up the court. Tried to pass it into Mosek was Wilson. Missed it. Bellarmine gets the steal to start this third quarter. Here's Anthony Pirro now. He has the ball, surveying. Now dribbles, drives in against Bryce Monroe. Pass it over to Quinn Denker. Denker, the senior captain, drives in. Open Kioshin. Missed 3, Kioshin. Denker gets the rebound off the hustle by Josh Wolf-Bloom. And now he'll take it against Jelani Clark, the talented senior guard from Riordan. Kioshin now working. Low post. Has the ball stripped away. Instead passes it over to Wolf-Bloom. Bloom looks over to Kioshin, working on Mosek. Looking. Oh, 3-second violation on Kioshin. Also was throwing a ton of elbows there as he tried to create space. So, they could have called an offensive foul as well.
Yeah, sensed a little bit of frustration from Ryan Kioshin. Great defense from Morsek. And Kioshin not really able to create some space and was in the paint for too long. They called the violation on him.
We mentioned this earlier. Kioshin typically doesn't go against players bigger than him in the WCEL. As Monroe works against Pirro, drives in, flips it up and out. Nifty move again by Bryce Monroe. Misses the shot, though. Go to the line, shoot 2. Foul is on number 32, Ian Elam. First team foul for Bellarmine. Just under 7 minutes to go in this third quarter. Riordan has tied the game up 24-24.
So, yeah, both teams played very well in the first half, and I think in the second half, if they want to continue staying competitive in this, Bellarmine's got to hit the perimeter threes because they're probably not going to win in the paint as
Morsek gets the rebound, and official will call it off on Riordan. Bellarmine ball. But again, Morsek just has that innate talent, and he has that drive to get rebounds. Size doesn't mean a lot when getting rebounds when compared to really wanting it. If you want to know, just check me playing basketball. I'm a big guy. I don't get many rebounds because too tired after the second quarter as Quinn Denker stripes a 3. He's not tired at all.
Quinn Denker's getting real streaky this game, and it's really showing as this is his third 3 that he's hit today.
Hubbard now with the ball, passes it over to Monroe, who seems to initiate the offense working against Pirro. Hubbard gets a screen. Elam and Denker doubling him. Bad pass to Wolf-Bloom. Over to Quinn Denker. Bellarmine looking to push. Pushes back against Hubbard. Back row to Elam. Elam for 3. Hits it!
The big man puts the 3 in. He gets enough space on the top of the key, and you give him just that much space, he'll make you pay. Bellarmine doing what they needed to do, the perimeter shots, and they got that done.
Quick timeout there by Coach Curtin of Riordan, displeased with his team's defense. Looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout. So, Samarth, I want to ask you, just really early in the third quarter, what did you notice from Bellarmine that might have been different, or is it just more of the same and shots are finally falling?
It's more of the same as they're working the outside, and because they're working the outside well, they're able to put the shots in. They're making enough space for themselves, and because the shots are sinking, they've gotten themselves a 6-point lead. It's very difficult to beat Riordan in the paint, as we mentioned, and Riordan making some silly mistakes as that turnover we saw as the ball went out of bounds. So those silly mistakes, if they can minimize those, it would be very difficult for Bellarmine. So Bellarmine's got to do their best to force those mistakes.
Monroe passes it over to Hubbard. He will initiate the offense here. The star guards aside him as Jelani Clark gets the ball back over to Hubbard, back over to Clark. Back to Hubbard. Dribbles now. Drives in. Passes over to Morsek. He gets fouled. He had Monroe wide open in the corner. But he got the foul. Will go to the line. Will shoot 2 free throws.
I think that's a smart foul from Bellarmine. Put the big guy on the line, make him earn his points from the free throw line. Don't give him the easy layup in the paint.
I would agree with you, except because fouls accumulate per the half.
That is true.
You don't want to as Sek hits the first free throw. You don't want a situation where you're heading in, 2 minutes to go, and they're already in the double bonus, and now, you know, you can't touch the guys because they'll get 2 free throws every time.
Yeah.
Bellarmine has been the team fouling more as Sek hits the second free throw. Makes it a 4-point game. Something to keep in mind. Obviously, you want to stay physical against this Riordan team. As Piro will pass it over to Denker, gets bumped by Hubbard. Keeps his balance, drives in, pull-up jumper. Tough shot, more Sek skies for the rebound. Pass it over to Wilson, Wilson over to Hubbard. Riordan will look to push. Hubbard drives all the way, untouched for the layup. Bellarmine and Riordan trading blows now. Quinn Denker rushing up the court, driving in, extending those elbows, hits the floater, wants a foul. Clark will take it back. A lot of pace right now in this third quarter with 5 minutes to go. Clark working double team, drives in. Whoa, blue! Denker blocks him from behind, but there is going to be a foul. Number 3, Quinn Denker gets called for the foul, a push from behind. The
refs have a better view down there, but so we certainly didn't see it from here. It looked like he got ball, but there might have been his left hand on the back of Clark.
Official who made the call was on the baseline, so, you know, sometimes when the guy who has the best angle doesn't call it, maybe you shouldn't call it. Of course, officiating is an imperfect science, as we all know. Full timeout here, taken by Bellarmine. We'll be back in a few seconds. You're listening to BCP Sports, Bellarmine Basketball, here on YouTube. All right, we're back at Patrick Wayne Memorial Stadium. Bellarmine nursing a 3-point lead in the third quarter, 4:55 to go. Same players on the court for both teams.
I'm going to start off with free throws there by Jelani Clark.
Jelani Clark, the second tandem of a very talented, very explosive backcourt duo. Hits the second free throw, 2-point lead for the Bells. You know, Monroe and Clark have had their moments, but by and large, the Bells have done a good job of mitigating their impact. Piro has the ball now. Screen by Kioshin. Now Elam gets the ball, nice fake. Pass over to Kioshin, blocked up top.
Looks like it's a foul. They're going to call it. Good job by Kioshin to draw the foul. And More Sek is not happy. He's talking to his coach right now about it. Kioshin hasn't been great from the free throw line this season, but let's see if he can battle those demons, because those 2 free throws are going to prove very costly.
It's not often in high school basketball you get to see battles of giants up above the rim. As Kioshin hits the first free throw, but we saw it right there. You know, that's the beauty of high school basketball. Sometimes, just because of the size and athleticism, dunks are so rare, and when they happen, Kioshin misses the second free throw. More Sek definitely moved his feet there, but no call, and Riordan will get the ball up 3. 4:30 to go. Jelani Clark drives in, misses, gets the rebound, misses again, gets it a third time, puts it through. A lot of contact, no call.
Good job by Clark there. He showed a lot of second chance effort and able to.
Piro drives in. Denied by Morris Sek. Awkward looking shot, didn't look at had a chance anyway, but great denial by the big man. And he will check out. Cole Despy checks into the game. Kyle Lewis, Joshua Plume, Ryan Kioshin, and Quinn Denker, the 3 players. Oh, Zach Turner, my apologies. Now here's Kioshin. Pushed against the baseline, misses it. Lewis gets the ball, passes it over to Turner. Zach Turner with the ball now, pass it over to Kioshin. Up at the three-point line, pass it over to Denker, guarded by Hubbard. Fresh shot clock. Denker looking, pass it over to Turner. Turner, pass it over to Despy. Lewis was in the area, otherwise he had an open three. Kioshin stonewalled, gets the ball back, less than 10 to go. Badly misses that baby hook. Despy, another shot, he misses. Kioshin gets the rebound.
Very sloppy on the board from Riordan, and their coaching staff is not happy with that because they gave Bellarmine a lot of opportunities to get back, and Ryan Kioshin finally made them pay. And it looks like coaching staff will talk it over because that's something that's got to be cleaned up.
Yeah, you know, great effort there. As we're going to pan over to the right a little bit and show you the full scoreboard so you can be aware of what's going on. 30-second timeout right now, so we'll be staying with you. Third quarter, 3 fouls against Bellarmine, 1 against Riordan. A 3-point lead, 35-32. So we're heading in to the third quarter again, halfway through basically. Bellarmine and Riordan tightly contested. A bit different from the game they played up in San Francisco, where it seemed like Riordan had control, pulled away to a decent, though not dominant, victory.
It is much different. Bellarmine made the necessary adjustments. One of them being eliminating Bryce Monroe, their very talented guard. Not eliminating, but containing him to a certain degree.
Other talented guard, Jelani Clark passes it to open Monroe. Refuses to make him pay, misses that shot. Denker with the ball now. Denker will push it up. Working against Hubbard. A lot of moves for a lot of nothing, but he'll take an open three. Little short. Zach Turner rebound. Kyle Lewis doesn't pull the trigger, and Zach Turner will take it out, reset. Gives it over to Lewis, guarded by Monroe. Now to Despy. Despy guarded by Clark. To Kioshin. An open three, didn't take it. Kyle Lewis drives in. Offensive foul. They're going to call a push-off. Tilt it down so we don't see as much of the crowd, but we see the entire length of the court. Hubbard brings the ball up the court. Jelani Clark has the ball. Clark works against Kyle Lewis. Step back, deep three. Real short. Cole Despy gets the board, passing it over to Quinn Denker. Bellarmine will push. Turner gives a screen. Well, not really a screen to Denker. Denker will work on it. Kioshin calling for the ball in the low post. Bellarmine gets it to him. Now he's in the high post. Moved around to the three-point line. Block on Zach Turner by Jelani Clark. Bad pass by Morsek. Kyle Lewis, three ball, slightly off. The point guard, Quinn Denker, gets the board. Back to Lewis. Lewis will reset here for Bellarmine. Zach Turner now with the ball. Takes a three, gets called for a foul.
And the coaching staff is not happy with that again because, again, you see fresh out of the timeout, Riordan making the same mistakes that they were making before. And now it puts Zach Turner on the line. And sloppy offense because they get the ball and then it's picked off by Cole Despy and giving Bellarmine a second chance as Zach Turner hits the first one.
Lots of action in this third quarter, but end result right now with 1:39 to go. Zach Turner has hit 2 of his 3 free throws so far.
Quinn Denker is checking out in the place of Anthony Pirro. Anthony Pirro started the game off on the starting lineup, but he spent some time on the bench this third quarter. And Turner goes 3 for 3.
This is the star treatment right there for Quinn Denker. Catch a little bit of break at the end of the quarter. You get the full quarter break. Nice and rested to play an important fourth quarter. Hubbard has the ball now. Morsek trying to screen for him. Pirro does a great job moving around, but there's a switch. Monroe working. drives in, loses the ball. Kiashin comes out of it. He'll give it to Piero. Piero will push it up. And they're going to call a block on Bryce Monroe. Gambled and went for the ball, didn't get it. It's called for the foul.
It's a very physical game, and Monroe doing a good job of exemplifying that. And he creates the foul.
Kiashin had Despi, but was unable to get it to him. Said he'll take it now with 1:09 to go in this game. Piero now with it. Bellarmine is up 6, 38-32. Piero working, looking. Kiashin, open three. Slightly off on Chan and Gott.
Zach Turner making some great plays on the offensive board, and Zach Turner has really been the difference maker in the end of this third quarter. He's been involved in most of the important plays for Bellarmine, and
that's going to be an offensive foul on Cole Despi, setting the screen for Zach Turner. A lot of illegal screen calls in this game. To be honest, the officials are probably right. Most players, when they set a screen, kind of skirt the rules a little. I know I do when I play street ball with my friends, but it's good. Cracking down may seem harsh, but they're calling to the letter of the law. Monroe takes it all by himself, flips it up, wild shot. Lewis comes out of the pack. He'll push. Pass over to Turner. Turner now with the ball. Pass over to Piero. Piero launches off. Turner rebound over Monroe, but way short. And there's the travel call.
Again, very undisciplined play from Riordan, uncharacteristically undisciplined, as they are getting they're just not able to move the ball out of their own half a lot of the times they get possession.
That was a travel, it looked like, by Sean Quantico. Bellarmine has the ball with 30 seconds. No shot clock, up by 6. Piero takes the ball. Quinn Denker checked in for this likely final possession now. Zach Turner with the ball. He'll pass it over to Quinn. 20 seconds now. Over to Piero. Bell's holding for the last shot of the quarter. Pass over to Quinn. Resets it. Coach is yelling. 6 seconds. 5. Denker drives in. Floater way off. Launch it by Morissette. Not close. Didn't really look like he cared much about it anyway. And we're heading to an incredible fourth quarter, what has been a great game. 38-32. Bellarmine Bells on top of the Riordan Crusaders. We'll be back in a flash. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCP Sports Live right here on YouTube. Start of the fourth quarter about to happen here at Patrick Green Memorial Stadium at San Jose. On the court for the Bells, we have Cole Despi, Anthony Piero, Quinn Denker, Zach Turner, and Ian Elam. For the Crusaders, got Clark, Quantico. They pass into Elam, working against Sek. Tries to lob it with his offhand, misses. Turner hits the deck. Sorry, that was Rini. And that was Hubbard almost losing the ball there. Managed to get it, and now it's Jelani Clark, who will be guarded by Quinn Denker. Gets a screen from Rini. Rini passes it over to
and it's a travel. Again, undisciplined play, and that is
Quantico.
Quantico's second mistake really in just a matter of a minute. And that's probably why he's been taken out.
Gets the quick hook here. 7:24 left to go in this final quarter. Anthony Pirro bringing the ball up. He'll pass it over to Denker. And Denker, the captain, the leader of this team, drives in, reverses it up, uses the backboard as a helper against Mosek. Monroe will drive in. Before the shot, they're going to call a foul on Cole Despy. Coach Schneider is hot, and rightfully so. Bryce Monroe drove straight down the court.
You've got to show a little bit of discipline and courage, really, when you're defending a guy with the caliber of Bryce Monroe.
Monroe will pass it all the way up top to Hubbard, and Riordan will reset. 7 minutes to go in this game. Here's Reaney over to Monroe. It's a screen. Monroe double, Despy and Turner looking to help. Monroe step back, hits it.
What a shot from Monroe. It's a low percentage shot, but he's able to get it in. What a play.
Denker working against Hubbard. Pass it over to Turner. Monroe went for the steal, misses it. That leaves Despy open. He can't hit it. They're going to call a foul on. Zach Turner came in, tried to strip the ball after Mosek got the board, didn't work out. Riordan now in the single bonus, and this is what we were talking about. We were worried about this potentially happening. Riordan will be getting free throws of some kind for the rest of the game.
Ryan Kioshin checks in for the game for Zach Turner, and I think he might ride this entire quarter out, ride the entire game out if he plays well right now.
Rolls off the rim for Morsek. Rebound by Kioshin, who just checked into the game, as Samarth said. And Denker will bring the ball. He's looking over to Elam. Elam guarded by Wilson. Elam has the height advantage. Pass over to Despy. Despy, nice fake. Foul by Jelani Clark before the drive. Smart foul.
Acknowledges it. And as you said, I think it's a good foul by Clark. It looked like Elam was that Despy? It was Elam who's...
Foul was against Cole
back.
Despy, who had the great pump fake. Elam passed it to him. As Denker will now pass it in to Anthony Pirro. Pass over. Quinn Denker. Denker looking. Pass over to Kioshin. Kioshin thought about the three, didn't take it. Denker stuck in the corner. Pass over to Wolf Bloom, who just checked into the game. Pirro over to Kioshin. Kioshin passes it in to Denker and one.
What a play from Denker. It was contested, and he drew the contact, put it in. Great job, great discipline from Quinn Denker to get it in. And they can really capitalize with only 6 minutes left in the game as the Bells lead 42-34. Makes it a three-point play.
Denker hits the free throw, made it in. A lot of contact, and the Bells are up 9, 5:52 to go in this game. Monroe looking, pass it over through the hands of Morsek into Wilson's hands. Wilson will pull, miss, Elam board, hounded and harassed by Clark and Wilson. Looking for someone, gets it over to Denker. Denker pushes it up the court. Oh! Misses Kioshin.
A little too much mustard on that one.
Absolutely.
And, if Kioshin was able to grab that ball, that would have been a monster dunk most likely.
Bryce Monroe will bring it up the court, in and out move. Hard pull up, but he knocks it down. Riordan going to full court press, down 7, 5:20 left to go. Foul will be called on Hubbard. He's arguing that Denker has been extending that elbow the entire game. Has an argument to be made. The officials aren't having it. 16th foul, and looks like this game could be going down to the great equalizer in sports. Free throws.
Yeah.
Kioshin has the ball now. Pass over to Elam. Denker step back, hits it.
What a play from Quinn Denker, giving himself the separation with a nice step back and sinks it from downtown. The crowd goes wild.
And Coach Curtin rightfully calls a timeout. His team is down 10 with 5 minutes to go. Full timeout, so we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be back with you as soon as the action starts. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball BCP Sports Live right here on YouTube. Welcome back, everyone. 5 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. Heavyweight showdown in the WCEL. Bellarmine is up 10 against Archbishop Riordan. He'll pass it into Hubbard, and Riordan will look to set up their offense. Hubbard, who's done a lot of the initial ball movement.
And it looks like a travel. Yes, it is. And that's against Bryce Monroe.
Monroe went in for a hop step, hopped in, didn't have anywhere to go, and once you hop into a hop step, you're pretty much screwed. Riordan going into a full court press now. Wolf Bloom will get the ball. He's guarded by Clark. Pass it over to Denker. He'll disperse. Denker over to Wolf Bloom. Couldn't handle it. Bad pass by Morsek. Denker gets the ball and he will slow it down. Just around 4:30 left to go in this final quarter. Denker guarded by Hubbard. He's had a great work against anyone. Elam, no hesitation. Denker hips it up to Despy, gets the board. Now back to Elam. Quinn Denker looking, searching as he's roaming around. Elam passed it to Kioshin. Kioshin passes it back to Elam, looking in the corner. Drives into Wilson. Misses.
What a putback.
Kioshin gets the board. Morsek was drawn in.
He sneaks in from behind and able to put it in. Good job of Ryan Kioshin.
Monroe is working against Despy. Just under 4 minutes to go in this game. Hubbard tries to pass it.
Yep, looks like Kioshin got a hand on that, and it goes off Morset's chest. Out of bounds. Good call by the officials. A sloppy play, and probably even better play by Ryan Kioshin. Morset coming out of the game, and so is Lee Hubbard.
They weren't a huge fan of that last few sequences as Wilson will shoot a three. Air ball. Clark rebound. Drive straight into the man. Missed it. And that's a push off. Heading the other way. Foul is on Riordan. We'll check who. Quantico gave the great pressure. That's Wilson. Dominic Wilson gets called. He, along with Quantico, had great pressure to force the turnover. Couldn't capitalize in the corner. He's called for the foul. Free throws coming up. Single bonus here for the Bells. Josh Wolfbloom will be at the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
And these free throws mathematically could really put this game away.
Hits the first one. "13-point lead right now. 3:34 to go. Big lead from the Bells, but win probabilities will tell you there's always a chance until the clock hits 0. Wolfbloom hits the second.
Anthony Pirro checking in. Ryan Kioshin, they're going small on this.
Kioshin comes out. Morsek is out. The Bells are going to keep their junior big man only when the sophomore big man for Riordan is on the court. Fight fire with fire. Bryce Monroe, pull up. 3, nails it. No, I read a few articles saying he might be the best player in Northern California right now. Josh Wolfbloom gets the ball, loses it, dives on the court. Pass it over to Anthony Pirro. Pirro also dives. It will be Riordan's ball. Great effort all the way around. But it's an 11-point game. Riordan has the ball. 3:15 to go.
Bellarmine's got to be very careful here. Riordan's going to be playing man-on-man a lot. So
Monroe, pull up. Hits back. Iron Wolf Blue with the rebound, getting hounded himself, stepped out of bounds. Riordan gets the ball, 3:06 to go. This pressure is getting to the Bells, but the Crusaders haven't been able to capitalize, and that leaves them still up 11.
Ryan Kioshin comes in for Wolf Bloom.
You know, one thing, if this game has shown us anything, is that the Bells are a really good team, and then Bryce Monroe is a talented player. Kioshin gets his hand on that and able to stop it, and got three, way off. Cole Despy is fouled by Wilson. He's frustrated, but Riordan right now has to be frustrated. They've caused turnover after turnover, have very few points to show for it.
Good job by Cole Despy there. There were two guys on him. He was able to hang on to the ball and draw the foul. Able to hang on to it long enough for the foul to be called, because these free throws are going to be very crucial.
Despy, just under 3 minutes, rattles home the first. Just under 3 minutes to go in this game. The Bells are up 12, and one more free throw on the way. Sean Quantico is in the game, has been for a little bit, but hasn't got a lot of run time. But will be playing vitally important minutes as Bryce Monroe gets the ball, drives all the way in, foul, bucket, and one opportunity, and Coach Schneider will not be happy about that. Monroe drove straight in through the defense, split double teams, took the contact. Coach Schneider will call a timeout to talk about it. The coaching staff not happy.
It's difficult against a player of Monroe's caliber, really, and Coach Schneider obviously expecting more from the team defensively, and let's see what adjustments are made to counter Bryce Monroe's physicality and aggressiveness to the paint, and to avoid the fouls also, because you don't want them getting three-point plays.
He's listed as 5'11". He's as fast as a smaller guard would be, but he plays with a strength and with the agility to the game that makes it so hard to stop him no matter where he goes. He's one of the best players in Northern California, if not the best. Is committed to Sam Houston State to play basketball, and is showing why. He is one of the primary leaders of the team that is currently first in the WCAL.
It's going to come down to a good finish here in Bellarmine, as Riordan certainly has the firepower to claw their way back into this one, and the Bells have got to be disciplined and got to be careful with how they play this aggressive Riordan team to close the game out, because they don't want to give Riordan any life, because if they smell blood, they're going to go after it.
2:55 left to go in this game. The Bells are up 11. Monroe about to take a free throw, two. Misses it, and it'll be 52-41. 2:50 left to go in this contest. Quinn Denker, double team, pass it over to Despy. Despy, nice pump, and came over, disrupted that. Wilson got pushed back as he got the board, but now Monroe will push, drives all the way, and no, they're calling a charge.
What a play. Was that Quinn Denker who drew the contact?
Anthony Pirro was there. That's a bang-bang call if I've ever seen one. Yeah. I thought that was a block. Monroe did a great job of avoiding Pirro, but the officials thought there was just enough. Despy will pass it over to Elam with 2:30 to go. Denker now has the ball in the front court. Pass over to Pirro, and the Bells will hold and set. He's working against Clark. Looked like Elam dragged his pivot foot. Pull up Jay. Misses it. And they're going to call a foul on someone here. We'll see.
22.
Number 22, Cole Despy. A lot of fouls as we're heading into the home stretch of this game.
Certainly, yeah.
We'll see who it helps. Monroe will be the one going to the line to shoot two. Hits the first. 10-point game, 52-42. 2:17 to go in this contest. Both teams at 9 fouls. That means next foul either way puts them in double bonus. Monroe hits the second. Timeout by Coach Curtin. He wants to talk it over.
And it's interesting that we're not seeing more Sec out there, probably because they want more speed on the Riordan side. Because Morsek has proven himself to be very good defensively, but I think they want more offensive prowess to close this game out. What do you think?
Well, from what I'm seeing, they're playing full court press the entire way through. Having your center back there doesn't make a huge difference. Probably not. Instead, you want a guy who's more forward-ish, can move around a lot. Morsek had a pretty rough sequence a little bit that caused the hook, and Riordan's strategy means they won't be going back to him. If this game gets a little closer near the end, I'll be incredibly surprised if I don't see Morsek out here, just because of the impact he made. I mean, just to start off this game, he was incredible. Looking at the Bellarmine student section right now, it's great to see so many fans out here. You'd be surprised because when you compare this to games against St. Francis or Archbishop Midi, the turnout is huge, but there was a time where there are games where no one is in there except the yell leaders and maybe 2 guys. Now you have more yell leaders than actual players, and now you know what's gone. But it's great to see so much support for what has been a really good program as Piero gets doubled by Wilson and Quantico. Now Wilson and Quantico double Elam. Now here's Danker, pushes it up. Despy wide open, can't hit it. Elam hits the deck, but he travels again.
Great play, though, from Elam.
Exactly.
That vertical, though, he just went flying.
Ripped the ball away from Quantico. And Rini will check into the game for Chen Gott. Rini, the senior, 6'9". Gott, 6'8", also a senior. Monroe drives against Despy all the way. Layup no good. Wilson rebound blocked by Quinn Danker.
Wow.
Foul.
It's a foul, though.
On Bryce Monroe. Kyoshin will go to the line for the double bonus. 1:51 left to go in this game. Bellarmine Bells are up 9. Stadium goes silent as Ryan Kyoshin goes to the line. Misses the first off back iron. Hits the second. 53-43 right now. Bellarmine up 10. Clark will be the one to push it up the court. Against Despy. Wild shot, misses it. Kyoshin with the board. Quantico fouls Danker, I'm thinking. Yes. Quantico fouls Danker. Double bonus, 141. 10-point lead for the Bells. They have a chance to make it 12.
Danker with a double bonus, 2 shots.
So with the loss here, if Riordan loses this one, they can potentially be knocked out and go down to second place if Midi wins tonight by a good margin. And they certainly don't want to see that happening, especially when it comes to seeding for the playoff time for CCS.
Danker hits both free throws, 55-43. That just tells you the state of affairs up at the top of the WCAL, or just all throughout, except for Valley Christian. Monroe, deep 3, misses it back iron. Foul is called on Ryan Kyoshin.
A little push
So
out there.
Rini will go to the line to shoot 2. Apart from Valley Christian, which has gone an almost improbable winless 0-10 in the WCAL. Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep 2-8, St. Ignatius 2-8. From there you just have, as Rini misses the first free throw, you have a lot of good teams who have played really well. You have Riordan at 9-1, Midi 8-2, Bellarmine 7-3, Sarah 6-4, St. Francis 6-4. Rini hits the second, and that'll make it an 11-point game, 55-44. Travel, hop step by Cole Despy. Kind of awkward looking there. I wasn't sure what he was doing. Looked pretty obvious. They called it as such. And Riordan gets a little more life. 1:32 left to go in this game. Monroe will pass it over to Wilson, over to Clark. Monroe now with the ball. Takes the three. Rolls out. Rini with the board. He'll put it in. Single-digit game, and Coach Curtin will call time.
So if we take a look at the standings, as Akshaj was alluding to earlier, before the game, we have Archbishop Riordan at first place, 9-1. Archbishop Midi, 8-2 in second place, and the Bellarmine at third, 7-3. And Sarah, 6-4, and St. Francis, 6-4. So it's very competitive, and as 5 of the 8 teams in WCL are all in this going into the final stretch, and it's going to come down to a matter of single games and tiebreakers potentially.
Especially the top 3 teams, 18-2 overall for Riordan, 17-3 for Midi, 17-3 for BCP heading into this game and these nights. It's been really competitive, and it's been a glory to see, honestly, because, you know, basketball sometimes can get a little lost in the shuffle of sports overall, especially with some of the NBA talent that's just circulated throughout the WCL. There have been times where it might seem a bit unfair or one-sided, but right now we have 3 really talented teams that are making this a fun end to the season.
Yeah, it's going to go right down to the wire for all 3 of these teams as they duke it out.
Ian Elam with the ball. Will pass over to Piero. Back over to Elam. Back over to Piero. Back over to Danker. Gets smacked in the face, and he hits the floor.
It's on Jelani Clark there. I think he just had his hand dragging back, and that smacks Quinn Zanker right in the face.
Unintentional, obviously. No ill will intended. Danker still feeling it a little bit, but with 1:17 left to go and his team up 9, 55-46. He's going to go to the line with 2 free throws waiting. Officials talking to Coach Schneider. I don't know about what. Probably checking if Denker's okay or he can play. Raw hits to the head, very dangerous.
Yeah.
You always want to keep precaution there. But Denker at the line will shoot the first, knocks it through. Still feeling that jawbone a little bit. Hits the second, 1:17 to go, 11-point lead. Quantico will give it back over to Clark. He will push it up. Working against Elam. Manages to keep his dribble. Fade away through. Whoa.
Shot from Jelani Clark.
Great shot by Clark. Now Clark will play defense. He and Monroe pressing up. Lewis almost lost the ball. Instead, will pass over to Piero, and just under a minute to go. The Bells will play keep away to Denker. Denker drives in. He gets fouled by Wilson. And you know, barring the catastrophe, there are a whole lot of missed free throws.
That would be quite a comeback. Probably one of the best I've seen in a while if Riordan's able to claw their way back from this deficit, an 8-point deficit.
49 seconds to go. 57-49 is your score right now. Quinn Denker still feeling his face a little bit. Looks like that was a pretty hard shot he took. Hard to tell the impact from up here. But he'll go to the line to shoot 2 more free throws, make it a double-digit lead. Hits the first. 58-49. Bellarmine is up 9. On the court for your Bells, we've got Kyle Lewis, Anthony Piero, Quinn Denker, who knocks on the second. Ryan Kiosh and Ian Elam. Bryce Monroe for Riordan will take the ball up the court. Drives in, step back, looking, searching. Clark, clock fake, Euro step.
What a play.
May not matter in the final score or in the result of this game, but man, that was pretty. And foul on Anthony Piero. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Shot clock is off now. 32.8 left to go in this game. As long as the Bells do what they're trained to do every day, which is hit their free throws, the Bellarmine basketball team will be going home happy, winning a game against a supremely talented Riordan squad. Pirro misses the first. Misses the second. Reedy couldn't get the board. And they're going to call a push, and that is crushing Archbishop Riordan.
It all comes down to discipline, and the mistakes have been a lot for Riordan, especially in the second half. They did a good job of minimizing those in the first half, but it really took over in the second as Unila misses his first free throw.
3 straight missed free throws from the Bell. If there's any way to put Riordan back in this game, it's by missing their free throws. The Bells do not, though. Clark passes it over to just checking the game. Mark Bear to Monroe. Drives in. Fancy layup, no good. Elam gets fouled by Reedy. This is prolonging the inevitable right here. Padding the stats, if you will. 21.6 left to go in this game. Bellarmine up 60-51.
Call is called number 30, Reedy. And yellow, number 32, Bellarmine shooting 2.
Coach Schneider appreciating Quinn Denker's effort for this game. Quinn Denker's played lights out, really, defensively and offensively. He's gotten a couple big boards as well, which is pretty rare for a point guard. And those big boards have resulted in points and allowed Bell to jump out to that big lead early in the fourth quarter.
Elam knocks down both free throws. Clock winding as Clark brings it up. Call a travel right there. And that should seal it unless Riordan decides to foul one more time, prolong the game.
I don't know what Clark was trying to do on that one.
Looked like he was trying to go for a step back. Stepped a little too far back, didn't pull the trigger. And your Bellarmine Bells will emerge victorious against the Archbishop Riordan Crusaders, winning 62-51, avenging an 8-point loss up north in San Francisco and moving to 8-3 in the WCL, 18-3 overall. Archbishop Riordan also 18-3 overall, 9-2 in the WCL. We're going to see what's going to happen as this season winds up. A lot of games to be played, a lot of action to be had. The WCL is wide open.
It is, yeah. The WCL is, as we mentioned, very, very competitive. And this loss will hurt Riordan. And Bellarmine avenges their losses as they had back up north. So they split it this season. And for Bellarmine next, they will be playing St. Ignatius. And for Riordan, Riordan is going to be playing also on the same day, but we do not have the stat of who they're going to be playing. But yeah, for Bellarmine, they will be playing St. Ignatius. They came off, coming in this game, they came off an emotional win in overtime against Sarah, 63-59. They got the win here, increasing their win streak to 2. And the Bellarmine fans really appreciating the team.
And you know, as we're about to wrap up this broadcast, I want to say this is the last time I'll be on one of these basketball calls. You know, it's been 4 years. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of great times, a lot of fun opportunities. I remember freshman year, I came in, my first game I called, St. Francis, the Holy War, just me and the general manager of KBCP, and it's just us, super nervous, had to power through my first broadcast. Now, 4 years later, it's been a joy. It's been so much fun being able to call these games for you all, being able to work behind the scenes. I want to thank our faculty moderator, Mr. Lindemann. Our other faculty moderator, Ms. Crockett, Lucas Owens and Carlo Jimenez, who were two of the guys in charge of sports broadcasting when I first got involved. Samarth Girish, who is on the call with me right now and also did the camera work, so he was double dipping there. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been such a blast. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you guys listening. So, with that, have a great night. Hopefully the Bells do some damage in the playoffs. Been great calling basketball for you all. And go Bells.